Hey there, it's Lori. I am stopping in today with a card set just in time for the holidays. I am joining in this week over at My Favorite Things for A Very Crafty Holiday. I am going to show you how I made this very clean and simple Peace and Joy card. If you follow my blog, you know that I love clean and simple. I love quick and easy cards, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is to mass produce this Christmas card using some of the new October My Favorite Things goodies. Let me show you first what I'm going to be using. This month there is several new sentiment sets from MFT that are amazing. I love fun handwritten fonts, and that's what we have this month. This is Warm Holiday Wishes. It comes by itself. This one is Merry Christmas, also just a single stamp. And then there's a full stamp set called Handwritten Holidays, Deck the Halls, Peace and Joy, Merry and Bright, Joyful, and Fa La La. And then of course some snowflakes. These, they might be my favorite Christmas sentiments ever. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to use a few of these today, and I'm going to show you how I do that. In addition to the sentiment sets, I'm going to be using In Bloom and just using some of the leaf images from this set. So the first thing that I have done is I have the Peace and Joy sentiment in my MISTI, and I'm just going to stamp kind of like an assembly line. I have 4 card fronts here. These are just A2 size card fronts, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I've got that sentiment set for just the center of the white panel. I'm going to be using VersaFine Black Onyx ink. This is my favorite black ink for sentiments. It's nice and crisp. So the first thing you want to do, if you haven't used your sentiment yet, is kind of condition it. All I do is just rub my hand over the image, kind of put some oils on the stamp so it will hold as much ink as possible, and you'll get a really good stamped image. Of course, the nice thing about the MISTI is if you don't get a good image, you can always re-ink and stamp again. I'm probably going to stamp most of these twice just so I get that nice bold black sentiment. And then I'm going to just quickly go through and stamp 3 more. Have 4 card fronts ready to decorate. I'm going to use these colors. This one is Bubblegum, Red Hot, Sour Apple, and a little bit darker one, Gumdrop Green. From the In Bloom set, I've picked out several different leaf images, and I have them ready to go on acrylic blocks right here. You could do this on the MISTI, you could lay them out, pick them up, but just because I'm using different colors, I want to just be able to stamp them all in a row. So before I knew exactly what I wanted my card front to look like, I did a little bit of practicing, or maybe a lot of practicing, but that's okay. One tip I have to lay out your card or just practice is to use maybe a Georgia Pacific cardstock or even typing paper, just so you can practice your layout, get it just like you want it, and then you'll be able to crank out your cards pretty quick. I practiced with this card front, and it turned out just like I wanted it the first time. So this is what we're going to do today. But you can see here I have several practice card fronts that I didn't necessarily love, but just easy to just pick up some cardstock and just practice a few times. So now that I have this template, I'm going to just sit that in front of me. I'm going to pick up one color ink with one of the stems, and then we're just going to stamp these in an assembly line fashion. Next, I'm going to go in with the Red Hot Berries. This stamp set that's called In Bloom is really pretty, fun details, and very easy to line up these layered stamps. Next, I'm going to go in with Sour Apple. Next, I'm going to go in with this little flower using bubblegum ink, and I'm just going to stamp a few around the front of the card. This last little set is 3 little sparkles, and I actually got this out of Hand Lettered Holiday. This one's just a fun little starburst image, and I thought it would be kind of Christmassy. One of the perils of using red ink is always getting a fingerprint somewhere. I clearly got very inky doing this, and I did get a little bit of ink on the top of this card. I'm going to use this sand eraser from Tombow and just skim the top of that red off. I'm going to go in there with a stiff bristled brush to brush that off because I don't want another red fingerprint on it. This is a great tool to have in your craft supplies, just a cheap stiff bristled brush. Alright, so now I have 4 card fronts. To add a little bit more color to these card fronts, I'm just going to attach them to a colored card base. So I've got my score pal, and I'm going to score all of these at 5.5. I always use my ATG gun when I'm applying a full card front to a card base. It just sticks down and feels more permanent. So now I have this really pretty, very easy 1-layer card, easy to stamp, easy to mass produce, and very easy to mail because it's nice and flat. These hand-lettered sentiments are gorgeous and really make the card pop. If you wanted to take it a step further, it would add more time as far as mass producing, but you could even heat emboss this with gold embossing powder, and that would be really pretty. I do want to show you 2 more cards that I made using Warm Holiday Wishes and Merry Christmas. These were actually cards that I started to stamp and then I didn't like the layout, so I just kept stamping, and I covered the whole front in the different images from In Bloom. On this card front, I cut it down just a tiny bit so there's a little bit of red showing through from the card base, and on this one I left a little strip of green at the bottom. Those are just some fun different things you can do, and mass producing cards for Christmas is so much easier because, you know, we have so many cards to send out. So I hope you've enjoyed my video, and I hope that you're inspired to do a little holiday stamping. Please email me if you have questions, and definitely check out the My Favorite Things blog for more information. Thanks and have a great day.